Show me like you hate me, but she love me. Low-key wanna take me when she at me. Touch me with the lights off and my chains on, baby. I'm on the route one, you should wait on.
Surprise! Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, Isaiah Warlock here. This video is going to be a tutorial on how to sound like Corpse / Corpse Husband. Now, Corpse Husband is, of course, a YouTuber who used to make videos about spooky stories, reading these spooky stories, talking about them, and whatnot. I used to watch him way back in the day, but now he makes videos mainly about Among Us. I think like all his recent videos have been Among Us videos with the whole PewDiePie gang. But nonetheless, he is also a musical artist known as Just Corpse, and his music, as well as everything, has been blowing up right now. And a lot of you have asked me to do a tutorial for Corpse. So here is the Corpse tutorial. Now, if you're here just for the memes of sounding like Corpse with his super deep voice, you just want to sound like him, like how he talks and stuff, that's fine, because I am going to be explaining how to do that. But I'm also going to be talking about his music, how to do his vocal techniques for how he speaks, and also how he raps with his super deep raspy voice that he is basically famous for at this point. And then after that, I will also be explaining how to mix these kinds of vocals by using his E-Girls Are Ruining My Life song as an example, which you heard my version of in the intro. Yes, that was me doing a cover of that song. So I'm going to be showing you how I made that, how I mixed it, the vocal techniques I used, and I'm also going to show you a little way to cheat and sound pretty much exactly like Corpse by cheating, honestly. But I'm also going to show you how to do it more in an honest way as well. So we'll be covering both of those. And also, if you don't already know, Corpse does scream as well sometimes in his music. I've only heard one song that he screams in, which is Never Satisfied. But I will also be showing you how to do the scream that Corpse does. So just real quick before we jump into it, please consider subscribing. It's free. You can unsubscribe whenever you want, so you might as well. And it helps me out a whole lot. Also, a huge percentage of the people that watch my videos aren't actually subscribed. So if you do enjoy my videos, just don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into it. First, starting off with the way Corpse speaks. Now, as I said, Corpse is of course famous for his super deep voice, but that's not the only characteristic his voice has. Of course, it is very deep, and there's not that much you can do to make your voice super deep. It's just kind of like if you're born with a super deep voice, you have it. If you aren't, you don't really have it. You're not really able to do it to the same capacity. But I am still going to show you a little trick to make your voice deeper. But then also his voice is really raspy. It has lots of distortion on it. Now, usually when he's talking, that distortion is vocal fry. But when he is rapping, a lot of times it's soft tissue distortion, which is another kind of distortion. I'm going to show you how to do both of those things, as well as how to make your voice deeper. So to begin with, you can take your larynx. Now, you can't see my larynx right now because I'm wearing this crazy choker, but okay. So your larynx, well, your larynx is like your whole windpipe, but your voice box is right there on your larynx, right here, your Adam's apple, right? And if you can consciously move that around, that's really good. If you can't, just try. It's actually not that difficult, but if you make this sound, you're gonna automatically do it. So look. You see how it moves up and down? And then you can try to do it without making that sound as well. Okay, so once you can figure out how to move it consciously, what you want to do is just put it as far down as it'll go, because the further down it goes, basically the deeper your voice gets, the more bass your voice has, all that stuff, right? So lower all the way down, it's up here. Now it's down here. That's about right there. Right there is about as low as I can make it go. Obviously I sound really stupid now, it sounds like Patrick. But then what you're gonna do is change how your like your accent, if you will, to down here like this, and then now you have a really low voice. Obviously I sound stupid doing this because my voice isn't naturally this low, right? My voice is a lot higher than this, or like it usually is naturally. So it feels weird, it sounds weird, but that's just like the main trick that you can do to make your voice lower. Okay, so once you can move your larynx around, move your voice box around, and make your voice as low as you can go, now what you need to consider is the distortion. So when Corpse speaks, hey. Yeah, he speaks like that. He speaks like this. When Corpse speaks, he speaks like this. He has his voice like really low, and then he also has vocal fry like this. Yeah, hey, yeah. Okay, he sounds like that. So, how do you get that effect? Now, as I said, he uses vocal fry, but he also uses soft tissue distortion when he's rapping. So I will explain that after. But first, fry. How do you get vocal fry? Well, we all do fry sometimes, okay? It's just this quiet little sound. So all you have to do is like make a kind of a low note, right? People talk about fry being another register below chest voice. That's not actually true, because you can do vocal fry anywhere in your voice. You can do fry anywhere in your voice. It's not actually another register below chest voice. But anyways, to get fry, if you can't just do it automatically, like that, just try making a super low note, and then keep going lower. Just go as low as you can, and you will go into fry if you just try to keep going lower. So once you have that sound, so now once you can do that, just put that on top of making your voice low, right? So bring your larynx all the way down. Yeah. And now just bring the fry in. Yeah. Okay, top 10 scariest stories from 2020. Number 1, blah, 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 right? So you're gonna have to talk quite quietly as well to maintain the fry on there. So yeah, that's essentially how to do his voice with the fry. Now, when he raps, and you'll see what I mean by this in a second, but I'm going to show you how to mix. When I'm showing you how to mix, you'll see that I have multiple layers, and some of the layers are doing that, what I just showed you, and then, or at least one of the layers is, and then 2 layers I have doing soft tissue distortion. So how do you do that? And I'll show you what that sounds like. Yeah. It sounds like that, okay? So how do you do that? Well, to start with, you do a whisper sound. Let's start using the word yeah. Let's try that. Yeah. Okay. Now you make your voice really low, like a super low whisper, and use the technique we were talking about before with the larynx. Yeah. Okay. Now, sorry, I already started doing it without explaining it. But then, what you want to do is like kind of shut your vocal cords off. Okay. So the way to do that consciously is go like this. Like you're picking up something heavy. When you do that, your vocal cords shut off, okay? So you're gonna want to do that in your throat, shut your vocal cords off, and then just push with your diaphragm a little bit, push on that sound, and you'll start getting a bit of raspiness, and it's gonna feel really different than fry. It's a different sound, okay? But it just sound like this. Yeah. It just sounds something like that, okay? It's just like a whisper essentially, but it's like a harsh whisper. It's like a distorted whisper kind of. Okay, now that is the explanation for how he does his vocals. Now, right before we jump into the mixing part of it, what I will explain really quickly is his scream. Like I said, he doesn't scream all the time, but he does scream in at least one song. It's a pretty popular song, so I'm gonna go ahead and explain how he does his scream. Now, here's the thing: he puts a lot of effects on his screams, and it sounds good. But I mean, like you can't really figure out exactly what kind of scream he's doing and stuff. But from what I can tell, he's doing a fry scream. Basically, it's a vocal fry scream. Okay, so it's a fry scream using vocal fry. So we achieve this. To begin with, you're gonna want to have good control over the vocal fry, like we were using before for this. Like that sound. You want to have good control over that. You want to practice that a lot, because then what you're gonna do is take that sound. And you're gonna add power to it. You're gonna add air to it, so it gets louder and louder. Now, I think Corpse's scream is kind of similar to Scarlord's scream, and that it has a lot of voice in it, right? It's not just a fry scream. It's not just a pitchless fry scream. It has he's yelling it, right? It's a yell. It does have the fry on it, but it's a yell. Okay, so how do we do that? Well, we start with you have the vocal fry, good. Now what you need to do is work on your yell. Everybody can yell, right? Yeah! Never gonna be satisfied! Okay, I'm yelling the lyrics to it, never satisfied. So, what you need to do now is take that sound and put the fry on it. This is gonna take some practice, but with practice, you'll figure it out. Like I said, you just need to have a good control of the vocal fry to be able to put it on a yell. Yeah! Never gonna be satisfied! Now, so it sounds something like that. Now, the most comfortable place for me when it comes to a fry scream like that is a place that, like I just did it. It's somewhere a bit higher there. for Corpse, since he has such a low voice, his screams sound a bit lower, but it's where he feels comfortable. And yeah, I'm just doing it where I feel comfortable to do that kind of sound, but still with the same technique, with the same kind of style. But yeah, there you go. Now let's jump into the mixing. First, I will explain the mixing for his regular rapping, like the intro that you heard, and then I will explain just a little bit about how you can mix your screams like Corpse. Okay, so I'm here in Ableton Live. First, I will just play what you heard. This is what you heard in the intro, okay? And then I'll explain to you how I did this. Now, I have two versions here, and I'm going to explain something in a moment. And I'm going to be honest with you, okay? For this version, I did cheat a little bit. I don't know if you consider it cheating or not. I'll show you what I mean in a second. But here's the first version of this little cover that I made.
Show me like you hate me, but she love me low-key. Wanna take me when she at me. Touch me with the lights off and my chains on, baby. Another one, you should wait on.
Okay, there it is. So I'm going to go ahead and explain how I mix this. Now you can see here that this version of it is 3 tracks, okay? We got this track, this track, and this track. So these 2 tracks are doing what I said before, is the soft tissue distortion rapping, like, yeah, like that. They're doing that. Listen, I'll just play this one.
Show me like you hate me, but she love me low-key.
Okay, they're doing that. Now we have 2 doing that.
Show me like you hate me, but she
Okay, we have 2 different tracks doing the same thing, but they're different recordings. And these both have auto-tune and overdrive on them. Now, why do they have auto-tune on them? I'll explain in just a second, but then this third one here sounds a bit different because this is the Vocal Fry one. Check it out.
Show me like you hate me, but she love me low-key. Wanna take me.
Okay, and that's the Vocal Fry rapping that I was showing you earlier. So all together, without the instrumental, just the vocals, it sounds like this.
Show me like you hate me, but she love me low-key. Wanna take me when she at me. Touch me with the...
Okay, it sounds like that. Sounds pretty cool. Now, why do they have auto-tune on them? Well, I'll show you what I mean by I was cheating. So I'm using auto-tune EFX here, and it has a lot of things you can do. It's a super good plugin, but I am using this effect called pitch and throat, and I have pitched my vocals down by 2 semitones, which isn't very much at all, but I have pitched them down a little bit, and I've made the throat length like about 10% longer, something like that. So basically, I've made it sound a little bit lower artificially just so it sounds like Corpse. Here's what it sounds like without that.
Show me like you hate me, but she love me low-key. Wanna take me.
Okay, so it's just kind of my voice, how it is naturally, and then with that effect,
Show me like you hate.
it sounds way lower. Right now, I know it's cheating. I know it's cheating, but I just did it for the sound of it. But I also have this other version down here, which doesn't do that, and I'm going to show you that in just a moment. But basically, yeah, all 3 of these tracks have the auto-tune thing on it. So if you do just want to sound like Corpse just to be kind of silly, or if you do actually want to genuinely use this, I recommend using auto-tune EFX, and you can use pitch and throat. I've only pitched it down a little bit, like 2 semitones is pretty much nothing, but you can pitch it down way more if you want to, if your voice just isn't as low as you want it to be. And then, but also on these 3 tracks, we also have overdrive, which is just overdrive distortion. You know, it's a type of distortion with pretty low setting. It's not distorting it very much. It's not, yeah, like it's not super distorted, because if you listen to his songs, he doesn't really distort his vocals that much, but I think he does just a little bit. And I like to put a little bit of distortion on vocals like this just so that they stand out and makes it sound a bit cooler. And then other than that, you can see here that these 2 tracks are panned to the left and right. This one is panned 45 to the left, and this one's panned 45 to the right. The max is 50, so they're panned. These are both panned almost all the way to either side, and they're different recordings, so that makes them sound super wide. And then this one, the Vocal Fry one, is right in the middle. It's not panned either way, so that just gives you a really thick, wide sound. It just sounds really nice. Now, I do know that in this song, E-Girls Are Ruining My Life, he doesn't actually mix the vocals like this. He mixes them mostly just all in the center. But in a lot of songs, he does do this panning thing, so I thought I would just show you how to do it as an example with this song. Okay, so yeah, that's basically the mixing for that. Now, like I said, I do also have this version, which I didn't cheat with, so you can check out what that sounds like. Here it is. Okay, so here is the version of it in which I did not cheat. I didn't pitch down the vocals. This is just my voice.
Show me like you hate me, but she love me low-key. Wanna take me when she have me.
Here, I'll show you without the instrumental.
Show me like you hate me, but she love me low-key. Wanna take me when she have me. Touch me with the lights off.
Okay, so it's the exact same mixing. We've got the soft tissue distortion wrapping on these two, which are panned almost all the way to the left and the right, and we've got the vocal fry wrapping one right here in center. All same effects and everything, it just without the auto-tune pitching it down a little bit. Okay, so there you go. Now here's the thing. Now these are all super simple mixing techniques that you can do in anything. You don't have to be in Ableton. I'm in Ableton now, but you could do this exact same thing in Audacity. Just like how to do panning. There's distortion on Audacity. There's overdrive. You can get and if you want to do the auto-tune thing, you can in Audacity, because there's a free version of auto-tune called Auto-Tune Evo for Audacity. Well, it's a plugin that you can use in Audacity. You can do the same thing. So everything I've done here, you can do it in any DAW. But yeah, that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something that could be useful to you. I really want this video to blow up. I mean, I hope it blows up because Corpse is blowing up right now. So please share this video on your social media so that it blows up. Also follow me on Instagram for updates on my videos and my music and just extra content and stuff like that. Here's my Instagram right here. Make sure you go follow me, please. And also check out my Spotify. I have a bunch of songs on Spotify, also all streaming platforms, but especially Spotify. Check out my Spotify. I'm gonna be uploading some new songs pretty soon. Like I said, do not forget to subscribe. I will see you in the next video. I'm Isaiah Warlock, and goodbye.
Surprise!